Hey folks, I'm Serving Glory, and welcome to part 13 of my adventure as Geralt in Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. We've just completed combat with, I can't remember what it was called, some sort of Outer Planes demonette that we inadvertently summoned and then had to deal with. So we've got some level up to do. Let's go ahead and get that done. So, level 4, continuing with the Ranger Demon Slayer for Geralt. And we'll just stick with... Oh, actually, this is an ability point. I think we'll put it into Dex for now. Nothing would give us an extra modifier. No, so we'll work on Dex. And our skill points will continue with the main ones. We don't need to work on Arcana. Now that we've got Ember in the group, she's got pretty high Arcana bonus. Mobility, probably don't need that either. But then, other than Arcana, there's nothing else that we've got significant score in, so we'll just continue with that. And a bond. We can get an animal companion, or the Ranger's bond. Spend a move action to grant half my favoured enemy bonus against a single target of the appropriate type to all allies within 30 feet who can see or hear. Okay, I think I'm going to go with Animal Companion, and probably obvious what we're going to choose. So, Horse. We get +1 bonus to armour class and an attack rolls against enemies of medium size or smaller. There we go. So I guess we're going to be on a horse. Quite a lot. And that's us. Saddle up ability. Expanded spell list. Protection from evil is useful to have, given what we've been coming up against. Okay. Happy with that. LAN, the NPCs are automatically progressed through their levels. So looks like you put a point into wisdom and points into athletics and mobility and perception. Okay, true strike. Camellia, you're continuing the Spirit Hunter. Point into Dex, which is +5, which is awfully good. Good trickery and stealth. Stealth. Well, actually, thinking about it a couple of times, I know that you've been the one that was detected, so happy to see you improving your stealth. And Battle Master, I'm a bit surprised by that. Attack of opportunity each round stacks with opportunity granted by the combat reflexes feat. Okay. And a +5 dex bonus. Yeah, okay. I think I like where you're going with that. Anyway, you're complete, and we also get to level up our horse. So, what sort of person? Bulwark. Not having that. Racer. Right, so probably going to be mounted. Geralt's going to be mounted on the horse most of the time. A power attack. Melee damage rolls. And bleeding strike. Okay, multi-attack eventually saw there as well. I was thinking about Bulwark. Yeah, devotion. Well, is that devotion to your master or devotion to... It doesn't actually see. Aggressor or bulwark? I think we'll go with bulwark. And points will just go into athletics and mobility, I suppose. And a feat. Combat reflexes for the opportunity attacks. And the name, it's got to be... what do we want to with Płokta? The Polish version. No, we'll go with Roach. And random birthday. No idea what Roach's birthday was. Mind you, there were several Roaches. Okay. Complete. And you've got another level up actually. And again, we'll just go with that. Fine. Okay, Geralt, you now can mount up. Where's the horse? Ah, there it's right there. Saddle up, okay. So we've searched or looted the bodies here, but we've not, I don't think, looted these chests. Take that and that. Oil we'll take, but we don't need the rusty horseshoes. Even if a merchant would pay well for it. Stories told us by spirits. So I can allow you to pause the video if you want to read this. I'll come back and read it later. We'll just collect all. That's a reagent. There's more to be had here. I guess Geralt can't pick it up while mounted on Roach. Not much. Okay. Crossed a gap. So yeah, we are exploring Canabras. I don't think I want to go exploring across there right now. I want to come back down this direction. Yeah, so we've crossed over the chasm, I'm pretty sure, and that's probably just taking us back to the other side. So we'll head around this direction. Yeah, let's continue. Ah, people. Let's come over. My beloved brother, I admire your zeal, of course, but would you not agree this is hardly the time to be standing guard over a hole that no one will ever emerge from? Or perhaps you're concerned that someone will decide to go for a nighttime stroll and will accidentally fall into it? Such foresight is laudable, but do you really need so many soldiers for such a task? Can't your warriors be put to better use, for instance, fighting demons or clearing rubble, while the people trapped beneath it might still be alive? Don't you dare call me brother, heretic. How dare you accuse me of doing nothing to protect this city, especially now when followers of your temple were caught committing treason. To my mind, you are no different than the demon worshippers, those miscreants, those beasts that are digging under the city walls. Everyone knows, my dearest prelate, that in your zealous pursuit of order in the city, you have long since forgotten how to tell friend from foe and good from evil. That's what happened with my adepts, whose act of treason was a genuine attempt to save the city. And yet again I am forced to repeat myself. While we are wasting time on pointless quarrels, people are dying under the rubble in our city. People whom we could have saved if you had only set your soldiers to the task, and not kept them here, surrounding a useless and utterly harmless hole in the ground. Harmless? Well, if it's on your say-so, then that must mean there is somebody down there, your associates, no doubt, and they're just waiting for us to abandon our posts before they slink out and try again to... And you, I remembered you. You appeared in my city the day their demons attacked and Terendelev died. What are you doing here? Answer at once, or I'll have you strung up by your ankles before you know it. Don't think that the demons have wounded me. I still have enough strength to take on 100 of your sort. And what is this hideous creature? Lan, at your service. My forebears fought in the First Crusade. I lived in Canabra's my whole life. You haven't ever seen me before. Ah, it must be because you don't ever venture into your underground district. We have been meaning to complain to the city authorities that our paving stones have been in need of repair for a long time. The First Crusade, so you're a mongrel. You obviously know human speech. Surprisingly well, in fact. All right, let's be off with you. If he causes any trouble, I shall hold you responsible. Come to think of it, you still haven't told me who you are. Who are you to be asking me such questions? I find it passing strange that you don't already know who I am. Hullerin Shapok, prelate of Canabras, inquisitor by the grace of Iomede, defender of the city by the grace of Her Majesty Queen Galfrey, against threats from within and without. And as we can see, you've done a sterling job protecting this city. I am Ramian of Edme, prior of the Temple of Desna, which, alas, currently lies in ruins. Wise Hullerin here believes it is vital to guard this hole in the ground, from which he is certain demons will emerge at any moment. I have been trying to convince him that the city has far more urgent matters to deal with. For instance, rescuing those currently dying under the rubble. You know what? There may in fact be one matter that is more important than guarding this hole. I've put it off, and look where it's led us. I should have had you hung from the gates back when you dared to defend out your gang of delinquent demon collaborators. If the Sarkorians had hanged Arilu Vorlish while they had the chance, there never would have been a war. I won't repeat their mistake. I won't hesitate any longer. Soldiers, seize this scum. Prelate, see reason. These are frightening times, but threatening to hang someone without trial, that is unworthy of a servant of Iomede. Lest you forget, Geralt, we may serve the same goddess, but you are not an inquisitor. Don't question the way I choose to serve Iomede, and I won't question yours. Behold, Inquisitor, I bear the gift of an angel who died in the caves below Canabras. I am no enemy of yours. You're telling the truth. The light in your hand was wrought by the power of heaven. I will keep an open mind with regard to you, stranger, and later, under less fractious circumstances, I would like to ask you about how you came to receive this gift. But that can wait. Now I must deal with this filth once and for all. What precisely are you accusing Ramian of, Inquisitor? Treason. Not long before the city was attacked, several followers from his temple tried to secretly access the Wardstone and perform an unknown ritual over it. The Wardstone of Canabras, the gift from Iomede, the bringer of light, wrought by the hands of her herald, her first in the chain, and followers of that crazy runt of a goddess tried to meddle with it using their magic. After hearing a voice in their dreams, my soldiers almost had them caught when Ramian got in the way, allowing the traitors to go to ground. I made a mistake. I didn't have him locked in a cell and interrogated to within an inch of his life. And now the city lies in ruins. It's time to rectify that mistake. I've told you before, and I'll tell you again. My people foresaw the attack on the city. They knew the Wardstone already carried the seed of corruption within itself, and they were simply trying to heal it. I've heard similar claims before now. Where was it? Ah yes, from Staunton Vane, the traitor who brought down Dresden. The lessons of the past have taught us a great deal, and that is why I never believed you and your mob's lies, even for a second, and I was right. Say nothing. You're a fool, Hullerin. You're a zealot and a murderer, but you're a fool first and foremost. I told you that the Wardstone was weakened. You wouldn't listen. I warned you that the city was going to be attacked. You shooed me away. The truth is that my young adepts were trying to save the Wardstone, and you stopped them. Of course, those truly responsible for this tragedy are the demons, but you have done nothing to prevent it. And now you would still rather kill an innocent person and perish yourself than admit that you were wrong, as always. He fled, the heretic. He's no doubt expecting me to rush off in pursuit, but that won't work on me. What about you? If you truly have been marked out for a gift from heaven, this is your chance to save the city. Go and bring back that filthy traitor. I am almost certain that he and his cronies were helping the demons, either knowingly or unknowingly. Their attempt to bewitch the Wardstone is clear proof. Ramian must be captured. It seems that Ramian really warned you about the attack. Those crazed Desnans were always bursting into my study with their incoherent prophecies that came to them in their dreams. I won't lie, sometimes what they said did come to pass, but can we really rely on the woolly dreams of heretics over the cold hard facts of intelligence reports? Plenty of demons could have easily fooled them and whispered a treasonous plan in their dreams, and those lunatics would have been only too happy to listen. This time, Mr. Curls for Brains came to me and declared that demons were about to attack the city and the Wardstone's power was diminished by some kind of contamination or taint. Iomade forgive me for even repeating the words. After uttering such blasphemy, he should have been locked up along with his followers and interrogated, but instead I simply increased the surveillance on them. And what next? My people caught them red-handed trying to attack the Wardstone with unknown magic, and not 3 days later the demons attacked the city. There's an obvious connection between these events. Whether deliberately or under demonic influence, the Desnans played right into the hands of Discari's hordes, and they almost left the city completely defenceless. Ramian covered for his people for the whole time and helped him escape my guards. After that, what else can he be but a traitor and a heretic? I can tell you there's nothing dangerous in this hole. You have no reason to guard it. You told me yourself that you received a light-bringing gift from an angel who perished in the caves below our feet. It's no secret that those passages are teeming with dangerous creatures that could kill anyone, even a warrior of heaven. Demons and demonic offspring love roaming about underground. That's why I will be keeping an eye on this hole. If the beasts decide to attack from here, we'll be ready for them. I see you suffered greatly in the battle. Nonsense, I had to deal with a brood of Nabassus. It was nothing. I've taken on worse enemies with the goddess's help. Tell me, why are you obsessed with finding enemies everywhere you look? Why? Why? You must not be from these parts, or you wouldn't have asked such a question. I look for enemies everywhere because our enemies are everywhere. Who are we at war with? Demons. Demons and cultists. They are masters of deception. They worm their way into our favour and masquerade in all manner of false guises. Do you think Dresden was taken by force? No, by trickery. Were it not for me, Canabras would have gone the same way long ago, captured out from under our noses. Now listen to what I'm about to tell you. This was a long time ago. I was very young then, and I had just joined the crusade. Back then, Canabras didn't have a garrison so much as a public thoroughfare. Anyone who wanted could just stroll into the city. One day at dawn, a group of refugees came up to the city gates, bold as brass. The guards let them in, and why not? For no one was ever turned away. 'Twas no matter. Everyone was welcome in our city. If you came from Mendev, or if you'd hauled yourself here from across the seas, the crusade accepted all and sundry. But on this occasion, we paid dearly for our laxity. Just as soon as those innocent lambs entered the city, they transformed into demons and rushed toward the Wardstone, slaughtering everyone who tried to stop them. 62 people died in less than a minute. The demons used their mutilated corpses to desecrate the obelisk. None of them dared to go near it. The light of the goddess burned them all, so they threw the blood from afar, spattering the Wardstone from every direction. And the lead demon, a nihilist beast, Menago is her name, jeered and gloated, saying we mortals had been sitting ducks. And the creature was right too. We let our guard down, and we got what we deserved. That bloodbath came to be known as the Red Morning Massacre, and it was burned into the townsfolk's memories. Since then, Canabras has adopted different practices. Heretics, cultists, spies, all the rabble who coveted Aurelu's glory, we drove them all out of the city. We haven't had any trouble here since. Many have come here, even the Balor Karomazda, and they have all been sent straight back to where they came from, or else they were killed for their trouble. You see, Discari himself had to crawl out of the abyss and come here, the goddess curse him, in order to break through our defences, and what did he do? He left again, and we're still fighting. Now that is what vigilance and discipline can do. Okay, I have to go. Go on then, if you have to. It would be good if you could return with the head of that scum. I remember you. When Father and I arrived in this city, you met us. What is this gibberish? as if I have nothing better to do than to arrange meetings with vagrants. But it's true. You and the other knights tied us to stakes and started lighting the bonfire. Father died, and then one of your knights changed his mind and pulled me from the flames. But then he died too, don't you remember? If you were burned in it was with good reason. You say some traitor helped you escape from the fire? That is a crime in itself, which means that you have been evading justice all these years. If it weren't for the invasion, I would review your case and see that your sentence was finally fulfilled. You're lucky that we have more important matters to deal with right now. He didn't look the way he does now, all wrinkled and grey. He was young, with a big moustache. He probably forgot all about me. It was a long time ago. But I do want to say one thing. I'm not cross with him. This knight is a true hero. He just really wanted to protect his city. Only he got all mixed up about who was good and who was evil. Halrin, you sent an innocent child to be burned at the stake. Don't you want to ask forgiveness? Pah! Hardly. Anyone can look innocent. How did this girl manage to survive the fire? And what about that crow that's always flying around her? I advise you to take a closer look at this innocent little lamb of yours. If you ask me, she looks highly suspicious indeed. Let's go, Ember. Yes, let's go. Bye-bye, kind knight. A lot of dialogue. Interesting. This guy seems to be a bit of a head case. Is the word that we would use.
Godspeed.
Okay. So nothing further to see over there. Yeah, I'm not really on Halrin's side, to be honest. I don't see eye to eye with him. So we won't be bringing Ramian back. Interesting feature over there. And some loot up here. Let's check this out first. The demon invasion transformed all of Canabris into one great battlefield, but nowhere in the city suffered as much as this square. This place saw a clash of titans, the demon lord Discari leading his hordes from the abyss, and the dragon Terendelev, the mightiest of the city's defenders, and one of the first to fall. The scene of destruction leaves no doubt as to the battle's outcome. A skilled scout could recreate the course of the battle moment by moment simply by looking at the ruins. From the chimneys torn down by the powerful wings in a sharp dive, to the bloody tracks left behind when the demon dragged away the noble reptile's broken body. But it is no hypothetical scout gazing upon the ruins, it is Geralt, and he is not alone. The shadow of a strange, barely perceptible presence lingers over this place, like a gaze untethered from any observer. This mysterious force unknown to mortal kind silently assesses, judges, and seeks a better way. In an instant, Geralt is vested with this power, and looks at the world with its eyes. The past, present, and future stand before him as a unified whole. An unmoving, multifaceted crystal that would be beautiful were it not for the fractures, blemishes, and flecks marring its splendour. In the past exists the one who wielded this gaze in life. Although the one and life are inopposite terms for aeons, the supernatural embodiments of cosmic balance. Rather than who or what, a better word for these entities is how. This aeon appeared from outside this world and from the great beyond, to put an end to the intermingling of the planes and destroy the whirlwind, the chasm disrupting the order of the multiverse. Alas, the visitor from beyond proved too weak for the battle they came to fight. They even failed to finish casting the spell that would have sent Discari back to the abyss. With one swing of his scythe, the demon lord cut the aeon down. Ruins, blood, corpses, none of this perturbs the aeon's dispassionate gaze. The living are alive, the dead will be judged by Pharasma. All is as it should be, but the demons circling in the sky or prowling through the streets create a jarring juxtaposition, like splashes of blood-red ink on a restrained pencil sketch. They should not be here. The world of mortals is for mortals. The demon's place is in the demon world. How sublime the world would be if everything in it knew its place. But even the demons aren't as abhorrent as the sharp-edged, unassuming crystal languishing in the dirt among the bricks and smashed cobblestones. No mortal would notice it, but to the Aeon's eyes, its mere existence is an outrage against universal laws. If the Aeon still existed, They would not stop until the crystal was unmade. But the Aeon is gone, and only their gaze remains. Geralt picks the crystal up out of the dirt and stows it in his pocket. He is mortal, which means he has the power to decide what to do with it. Good and evil, chaos and order, everything is in its lawful place in the multiverse, and is no longer trespassing where it does not belong. Nothing is disrupting the smooth and steady current of the river of souls, from life into death and back to life again. The reality, rid of its flaws, is now perfect, and the Aeons withdraw to eternally admire its beauty, which will never be threatened again. After allowing the hero to view the world through their eyes, the little that remained of the destroyed Aeon is killed, even appropriate here for an entity that is so removed from life and death as we understand them, used up its last vestiges of energy. Now they are ready to disperse into nothingness, unless someone decides to preserve the Aeon within themselves. Will the hero take on this power, so that he may again look at the world through another's eyes, or will he allow it to vanish? Geralt will allow the Aeon's power to dissipate. Its views on law and order are a bit too stringent for him. Geralt is not the kind of person who relies on any eyes but his own. The final traces of the Aeon's existence fade away, sending one last look of farewell at him. That piercing, unyielding gaze, full of understanding of something significant, even as it takes that understanding with it into oblivion. Yeah, I think Geralt's actually going to go with maybe the angel mythic path. Anyway, there's loot to be had here. Somewhere. There it is. So, what do we have? Just a normal dueling sword. Light mace. Over here, we have more loot. Midnight bolt. The owner of this bolt can shoot it to deal 50 points of damage. That can't be ignored or reduced. The bolt cannot miss. I'm taking that's a one-shot item. Let's collect it, and I think we'll give that to Ember. She can use it. Yeah. I think it's better to be on somebody who is not involved in melee combat. Yeah, so Ember, you can keep a hold of it. And there is a dretch over here. So I think I'm going to put a break in here and we'll fight this encounter in the next part. So for now, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. Please leave me a comment, rate the video, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, and I hope to see you again next time. Cheers!